How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about GGPI, which is going to be bringing Polestar public. It was down almost 4% on the day, but we have been seeing some volatile price action. We also got a confirmation as far as for the date of the business combination. I'll talk about it further in the video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for GGPI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $9.69, being down 3.96%. On the low, it tested $9.55, and then on the high, testing $11.46. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 13.676 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 5.272 million shares. So we had well above the average when it comes to volume, and that's why we saw a volatile day. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 42.63. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So it's clear to see that GGPI is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. As we get closer to the merger, which we have the business combination happening on the 23rd, it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. So when we saw this high at $11.50, that is definitely an opportunity to look at taking some profits, especially when we had a strong spike above the 200-day moving average. You can also see, and I want to bring to your attention, we ended up seeing a low of $8.53. And these are one of the reasons why when you see this kind of price action, you take advantage of that dip. Remember, it is a SPAC and the floor price is at 10. So there was no shocker. It was able to recover very quickly. So if you didn't take any profits today whatsoever and you were trying to swing this or you had a trading goal, then you should have taken some profits off of the table. Where it's trading right now at $9.69, it's very interesting because if it does have some buying volume coming into the play, then we could see a move going to the 21-day EMA, which is right at $10, which is where the floor price is. And if it's able to hold $10, then you'd want to see if it could actually make a move, being able to get above $10.30. If it's unable to do this prior to the business combination, then we could have a stronger sell-off that could follow, but I'm not saying that it won't recover. We had a very similar situation that happened to Lucid as well, so that's why you want to keep that in mind. But for the most part, just taking a look at this chart, it is definitely not looking the greatest, so let's see what it does going into tomorrow. Let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for GGPI. So the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 55.99%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 1.63 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 2 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 4.87%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 16th, it is at 43.98, and then for the close of the 17th being at 55.99, so that has gone up quite a bit. And then taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 10.09%. This is a play that needs buying volume, and you can see some strong moves in price action like we saw today. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for GGPI. So we see on the inflow is at 27 million, and then on the outflow it's at 24.30 million. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 9.02 million, on the medium it was 11.55 million, and then on the small it was 6.43 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was
7.44 million. On the medium, it was 10.04 million. And then on the small, it was 6.82 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, June the 21st, we had that strong inflow of 1.58 million. And on the 17th, we had 0.77 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, you can see we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then for the large, it represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 13.74%. So this is up there for GGPI, but it's not surprising. A lot of volatility. We have the business combination that is coming up. There's a lot of talk. Buy the rumor, sell the news. You guys knew about this well beforehand, but you know what? We'll talk about it further in the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for GGPI when it comes to the price action, so we ended up seeing a high of $11.46, and then we had a low of the day of $9.55. Before I continue further, remember, this is a SPAC. So overall, before the business combination, if you want to sell out of your position to make sure you can lock in your $10 a share, just call up your broker and you can do that. Now, many people are saying, Dre, what is happening? Why didn't the price run up? Why didn't it stay there? If you remember what I've said in my previous videos on many different occasions, the same thing also happened to Lucid. As you get to the business combination, if you decide to hold through it, the stock can pull back, and it can pull back a lot. And the reason why this is important to know is that you have to be prepared to sell. I got questions inside of my Discord saying, yo, Dre, GGPI just got to around $11.40. Should I get out of my position? I said, you know what? Yes, sell your initial investment, and if you want to take some profits, go ahead and do that. And this is why I always emphasize you do not want to be sticking around in the play if you are a trader. Unless you are an investor, then you have every reason to want to stay in the play since you've done your homework, you've done your due diligence, and so forth. But if you are just swinging this thing, the fact that it pulled back all the way to $8.50, that's where you take advantage of that dip. Like I said, the floor price is at $10. So knowing that it moved all the way up past 11, and if you did not take any profits, I really don't know what to tell you. I've been telling you guys this over and over again. When it leads up to the merger, before that business combination, there will be a sell-off. But knowing that it's still trading below $10, anyone who's inside of this play, you can continue to have some patience, but just know, after that business combination is done and that ticker symbol changes, you will not have the opportunity to cash in at $10 a share. But if you believe in the long-term prospects, if you believe that there's upside inside this play, then you're going to stick it through and just kind of work with the volatility until it gets to the price that you are looking for. But again, that is entirely your own decision. I, for myself, I've already cashed out my initial investment, and everything left is just the house's money. So I'm very curious to see prior to the 23rd, maybe you might see something going into tomorrow if we can have some price action back above $10. So 21-day EMA is at $10.01 as well. And depending what happens there, then that's where I'll sell out of my position. And then I'll probably look to re-enter after the business combination and see if we have some sort of a run up. Again, I'm treating this just like Lucid. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, there's a lot of shorts who are vested in this play. And that's part of the reasons whenever we have a lot of buying volume coming in, it can move up very quickly. But that's why you always have to make sure that you have a strategy. You have a game plan. I know originally we were looking for a better price. We wanted to see this get to at least $13 to $14. But considering the market conditions and knowing that we were given that dip to the $8.50 range and we got that spike up to 11, knowing that the business combination is on the 23rd, as traders, we got to make sure that we have a game plan and say, well, you know what? I'm going to take some money off the table. Let me take off my initial investment and let's see where this stock could go prior to the combination where we have a usual sell-off. We also found out that they were granted a US patent today for their dual battery system. So for my investors out there, this is definitely some great news and you want to continue to keep an eye on this play. And for all of my traders out there, please keep an eye on it. Like I said, you are pretty much guaranteed to get your $10 per share. So even though it is trading below that current level right now, you still have an opportunity to cash out, or if you want to wait to see what it does going into tomorrow, you could do that. But just know this is not financial advice, and as far as for myself, like I stated previously, I've already taken out my initial investment. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.